6 years ago, I had lost my brother. I was super depressed. My dad had gotten deported. My family was struggling to pay our bills. We were living from room to room in our neighborhood and couldn't afford anything. I kept having faith, consistency, and I believed that there was something better for me. And 6 years later, after that, here I am as a graduate from the University of Southern California, also known as USC, and received over $450,000 to pay for not only my bachelor's, but also pay for my master's degree. And today, I'm going to show you how to completely change your life and manifest anything you want, and specifically manifest an education to change everything in your life going forward. Because that's what I did for myself. And I'm basically living my dream of where I wanted to be for little Luis back then, that was hoping that things would change and get better for him. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luis, and today I'm really going to show you how to manifest anything that you want and how I use manifestation to get over $450,000 to pay for my education. The first step into really manifesting everything you want is you have to visualize and be very specific of what you want. When I was in high school, I always watched TV shows like Glee, and I watched American Pie, and I always saw that people were like going to college and having all this fun. And it motivated me to really want to go to college and just escape everything that I was living in my life when I felt so sad and so hopeless, to be honest. And having that sense of hope really motivated me, and visualizing, seeing that, like, wow, there is like college can be the way where I don't have to live like this. College can be a place where I can actually be happy. So when I started visualizing that, I thought to myself, okay, let me visualize even more and get very specific of where I want to go to. So I started visualizing and being very specific, and I said, I wanted to go to USC or college that will pay for me to go on a full ride, because I knew my circumstances and I knew I could not afford college. So I had to be very specific in how I was going to do that. And once I was able to kind of narrow down what it is, I literally went to Target, bought a cork board, and put like, because I even could afford to print pictures at the time. So I grabbed a sticky note and I put, how would I get to college? And I said, here are the colleges I want to get to, and how I said, like, through purpose and my life experiences. And I really believed that I could do it just simply off that. Once I started to visualize and really think about, like, hey, this is what I specifically want to do, it helped me to really narrow down what I wanted to do and then start working to make that reality happen. I told myself that when I was like visualizing all this stuff, that I wanted to go to a college where I could be able to afford like Chipotle, where I can have friends that actually cared about me, where I could have my own laptop, where I can have my own bed. Because at the time, I didn't even have my own bed. I was sharing a bed with my mom and my sister. And I wanted my own room and my own space to be able to do that. When I got very specific, it made me so much more motivated to be able to know, hey, this is where I'm going. This is what I want. And it made me realize, like, okay, if I want to get there, like, this is the hope that's bringing me and really carried me on through high school to do it. So if you're struggling to do it, go and get like a corkboard. Use your phone, use your laptop, grab images from Pinterest or print them out, or even like what I did, write a sticky note and just put it in front of you. I remember when I was living back at home, I had my corkboard and I had it above my bed that I was sharing with my family, and I had put the sticky note there. And every morning when I would wake up, I would see that sticky note and remind myself, Luis, this is why you're doing what you're doing. This is the goal. You will get there. It will take time, but you will get there. And you can do the same. go and do whatever. Even if it's like you grab a piece of paper, write it down and stick it on your wall. Stick it on your wall because the more you visualize and you got specific, it makes the other parts of manifestation so much easier. Like I will show you, even when I wake up every single morning, I have my manifestation like wall and I see this is what I want and these are the goals. And it really helps me whenever I feel lost to know that I am on the right path and I'm consistently motivated even when I feel like it's hopeless. The second step is you have to disprove any negative beliefs that you cannot get what you want. And this is how you do it. When I was applying for colleges, I early on thought because I was undocumented, I didn't have papers, I didn't know how I was gonna, I couldn't apply for FAFSA, I didn't know, I couldn't work, like I didn't know how I was gonna pay for college. But I remember I was part of a program in high school through a clinic I was interning at, and they would bring in college students that were part of the program that I was in. And there's people that would talk about their experiences and be like, yeah, I'm first gen or I'm undocumented, I'm low income. And there are people that were from my neighborhood. And they would say, like, yeah, I go to this school on a full ride. Oh, I go to this. I moved away. And the more and more I kept hearing these alumni speeches, it disproved to me that college wasn't that out of a reality. I said, if someone like me from my background can get into a university and a good university and get a full ride and get scholarships, then I can do it myself. Like I can do it myself. And you can do it you as well. You have to disprove any negative subconscious messaging that you have that you can't do it with examples. One way that you can do this is go on ChatGPT and literally write down, okay, hey, I want to go to college, da 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 da, like this university with this stats. Can you provide me examples of people that have done it with the same backgrounds I have as well? Once you start doing that, ChatGPT would literally write you down a list of people or examples, celebrities, historians, whatever it is, and then you can research them and be like, wow, this person did it. And make a list of people that essentially disprove your belief. And once you have that, keep following them. Message them on LinkedIn, message them on Instagram, connect with them and different people from your school because the more you train your brain that it is possible and that negative belief to remove, the more likely you are to get what you want. Number three, you need to make a plan for yourself and follow it through. So many people think that once you like visualize something and you're like, okay, I want to get into USC, and they don't do anything about it. They can visually see it, but they cannot bring it into the reality that we live in. And if you are going to want something that you want to manifest, you have to work backwards. The visualization is just the end goal, but you have to go backwards to be able to get what you want. And I'm going to be very honest with you. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is there to help you and be able to be like, I'm going to give you that free tuition. I'm going to give you this for free. Nothing is free in our society. And you have to understand me being able to get into USC and me being able to get a full ride took me the energy to be able to work for it. I was going to Starbucks every single day, every single weekend, and I was just doing my homework to try to get the best grades possible to be academically qualified for merit scholarships. And I also was applying for scholarships every single opportunity I had. And it was even harder for me because I didn't have papers. Most of the scholarships would ask, like, you have to be a US citizen. I wasn't a US citizen and like I understood that and I was okay with it, but that made it even harder for me to be able to find stuff like that. And for me, I really wanted it and I told myself my plan to get a full ride is I had to do really well in school. I had to always apply for scholarships because I couldn't work or I couldn't qualify for specific ones. And I always had to be consistent and stay consistent with it and be able to maximize my opportunities. You to be able to get what you want to manifest, you have to do it. And with whatever challenges you have to get past that and you have to just push through it. A lot of this stuff is just mental. How much do you really want it? How much are you willing to sacrifice and you're willing to put in the work to get the outcome that you want? For me, there was a lot of barriers like for me to get into USC. I remember when I was at home, we had bought my first computer from a garage sale and it was so slow. It was so slow. It was so hard to be able to do my homework, but I still did it. Eventually, I got a scholarship from a donor that allowed me to buy like a really old and newer computer to be able to do my homework. But then I didn't have internet access at home, so I would have to walk from my neighborhood all the way up to Starbucks just to get free Wi-Fi, where I would stay after school to be able to use the computers there, and then like I would recycle cans to be able to print stuff out, or ask my mom like, do we have $1 so I can print out my homework, or ask a teacher, hey, can you print this out for me because I need it. And when you want something and you make a plan for it, you will do everything in your power to make sure that goal comes true. And that's what you have to do. So if you want to be able to get more fit, okay, what are you doing in your lifestyle that will align to that reality? You want to make more money. Are you going to be spending a lot of money? You have to make a plan for yourself because it's not just magic going to happen. Like, I can't just be like, wow, I'm going to get my degree at USC. Okay, how am I going to do that? What classes do I need to take? What letters of recommendation? How am I going to afford that? What do I need to do to stand out? And the more you make a plan for yourself and work backwards, the easier and more tangible that reality becomes. Lesson number 4, you need to learn how to block out all the negativity and really focus on having hope and belief that you're going to do it. Because something that I had learned when I was doing all this stuff, there were so many haters, so many people that are so comfortable with being content and mediocrity. If you really want to change your life, you need to cut everyone else that does not see your vision and is uplifting you and really focus on your goals and have a delusion that you will accomplish it. Because for me, USC was a delusion. It was so delusional for me because I had to believe that I was going to get there. Even when I was applying, there was people in my classes that like were like, no way you're going to get in. No way like Luis would ever even consider applying because you didn't have the grades or whatever. Even my own mom didn't even want me to go to USC. Not because she didn't believe I couldn't get in, she believed that I could get in, but she didn't believe that I could be able to afford that or I could be able to change my life like that. She just couldn't comprehend that because she was so busy trying to help us survive. And there's also people in my community that thought I couldn't even get into college just because I was Latino. And I decided for myself, I cannot be surrounded with those type of people. I need to be around people that were going to uplift me, who were smarter than me, who were going to make me better. And I found mentors and I found friends that would be like, just go for it, keep going, apply, just do it. And because of that positive vibrational energy, it lifted me up as well to be the same way. And as a result, I consistently believed in myself, even if I got rejected from something or I didn't get this position. I always made sure that I believed in myself and I believed in a higher purpose and blocked out all the hate that was happening. I was like, if they were saying you can't do it, block. If they were saying, oh, you can never apply for that, block. I just kept having tunnel vision and I made sure I was like, this is my goal, this is my plan, stick to it, and it's gonna happen. You have to be ready to let go of people that no longer serving your goal. People are so used to saying like, we've been friends for 10 years, we've been friends for blah, blah, blah. Just because you've been friends for so long does not mean that they're gonna match what your goals are in the future. I'm not saying cut them off, but you also have to be very careful of who you let in your influence. There's a theory out there that essentially says you become the next 5 people you interact with. That's why I'm so careful who I hang out with and who I talk to, because I want to become the best five people that are entrepreneurial, that are inspirational, funny, that are creative, that are positive. Because if you surround yourself with people that are not like that, you will just become like them. If they are bums, if they are lazy, if they don't want to do anything with their life, you as well are not going to do that. And you're going to become an embodiment of what they are. And you also need to understand, like, don't take advice from people who you do not want to live their life. Why would you take advice from someone whose life you do not want to live? So, if you want to live a different life, take advice from someone else who you aspire to be. Stop taking advice from people who do not align with your long term goals. I think about this all the time. I think about when my family and I were struggling so much, and my mom was so dependent on me to be able to help in the house with my sister or to help with like cook and all this stuff. And she was scared. I understood she was really scared of losing me. And when I had gone into USC, I worked super hard and I had gotten like in, and then I was unsure how I was going to pay for it. And then eventually we were like talking, and then we got in a fight, and she was like, "Well, I'm not even going to let you go to USC." And I was like, "Well, it's not your decision. Like, I'm going to pay for it my own." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to pay for it." And I said, "You're not even like, with what money? You don't have any money to pay for it." And then she like grabbed the remote and like threw it at me, and I dodged. And like, even though we got in a fight, like, I understood my long-term vision for myself that she couldn't see. And now she's like a proud USC Trojan mom and everything. But I think about that and I think, what if I had just listened to my mom and didn't take the offer to USC? I would not be here with this sweater that literally says USC alumni. I would not be in my apartment. I would not be anywhere where I am right now and meet the people and the connections if I had listened to the advice she had told me. Just because they're your friend or your teacher or your like professor or like your uncle or your cousin or whatever, your sibling, you don't have to take that advice. Take advice from people you want to be like, and also follow what's best for yourself, because it's your life. Whatever decisions you make, you're the one that's going to live the consequences, no one else. So if you want to leave that job because you're unhappy, leave it. If you don't want to be friends with them because they don't treat you how you want to be treated, stop being friends with them. If your family doesn't see your vision, stop listening to them. You have to take accountability for yourself and what you want for your life, because you're the only one that's ever going to know what is the struggle and be living with those consequences. Well, thanks for coming from my channel, and I'll see you guys next week. And I remember, I believe in you, and if you ever need some words of encouragement, come back and I'm here to motivate you as well. See ya.